everybody, and welcome in to Blue Jays Today, where you boys, we always have something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. I see somebody already in the chat saying, from Yankees, by the way, Yankees 4551 saying, here for the news and to support my favorite Jays channel, Faux Show. Well, shout out to you, Yankees. And it's funnily enough that we're going to be talking about literally something that actually includes your team directly, folks. Toronto Blue Jays made a very questionable roster move the other day. It kind of got thrown under the rug because there were so many other things that were happening at the same time. You got the exciting Kirk extension, you got the Allen Roden call-up, you got a lot of things that Toronto Blue Jays fans liked, and then we took a closer look at it and we were like, wait a second, what's going on there with somebody in the bullpen? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about opening day, which is coming up, everybody. We're going to spin the wheel again, folks, because we are back into the 2025 season. We're back. We're back, just baby. All the way back.
And shout out to Mauricio Perez right here saying, Grapefruit League champs. That's right, everybody.
W's in the chat.
Blue Jays are on top of the Grapefruit League.
That's right. You could argue that right now, today, we are the best team in the league.
Bro, absolutely. Bro, it was funny because my girlfriend's dad was talking to me the other day, and he was like, I heard the Jays were doing very well right now, and he's kind of not really watching every single day, but all he's heard that the Blue Jays are the best, and damn right they are the best, right? Blue Jays, look, opening day, that's all behind us now. Now we're just focused on real regular season baseball. So as well as spinning the wheel, we're gonna be breaking down that entire series, giving a little 2 cents because we're going up against the division rival Baltimore Orioles. What a way to kick off the 2025 season to face a 4-game series at home at the Rogers Center against those Orioles. But before we do, guys, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Blue Jays Today if you're ready and pumped for opening day this Thursday.
Yeah,
let's get into it.
I am so pumped, everybody. And also, too, we're going to be at Amsterdam Brewhouse, folks. We got to shout that out one more time. March 27th, link in the description to go to get your free tickets, by the way, completely free. Come join us. It's going to be legendary. Let's start out by talking about Ryan Yarbrough, everybody. That is what we're referencing when we're talking about the Toronto Blue Jays making a wild roster move. From Shidavidi here, the Blue Jays are not adding Ryan Yarbrough, who was slated to pitch today, but packed up his locker and left the PDC. He'll become a free agent at 2 p.m. Eastern time. That was on March 23rd. That was yesterday. That's what I mean. Kind of flew under the radar because everybody was so hype after the Kirk signing that happened prior, the Roden promotion, all of that stuff. Ryan Yarbrough was surprisingly good for us last year.
100%.
In the role of, coming in and being that lefty for us. A lot of people were thinking, let's bring him back for this year. They did. And now they've decided that actually we're not going to be doing that.
It didn't make any sense. Every time I talked about this Toronto Blue Jays team, I always considered Ryan Yarbrough in the mix. It was always, okay, well, if Scherzer's hurt, we can piggyback him off of Yarbrough off him or whatever. Or if we really get in trouble, there's Ryan Yarbrough going to come in and give his quality innings to save the day. And here's the thing. With part of his contract, he needed to become part of the Major League roster, and they needed to pay him $2 million to go add him to the roster. For me, that is $2 million that would be well spent, especially looking at the bullpen. We'll get that in a little bit. $2 million. That was it. I think a lot of teams would have done it, and they did. Because speaking of the Yankees right off the top of the show, the Yankees this morning, they go and they sign Ryan Yarbrough for that same $2 million base that he would have gotten with the Blue Jays. And just to add insult to injury, that's going over to the Yankees, who have a ton of pitching injuries, who are now adding a quality guy in that bullpen to go give them some relief innings or even a spot start or open start a game. For me, I don't really understand at all why the hell the Blue Jays cut Ryan Yarbrough. Why wouldn't they spend $2 million to go help that pen that they desperately need help?
Yeah,
I don't get it.
No,
someone give me a reason.
That's the thing. I was actually looking on the initial Shai Davidi tweet. The first comment there, I think it was from a Jaybird watching podcast.
Yeah.
Literally says, "Not sure I understand this one." We're right there with you. Ryan Yarbrough to me was one of the better options, if not the best option that we had, throwing from the left arm.
Absolutely.
And we just
Absolutely.
and that's something that I've been saying on this show for a long period of time, that is an area that concerns me, because when you go over to the bullpen, when you look at the roster right now, there's not a whole lot of quality guys out there in that pen that are lefties. And I know that there's not a single guy in the rotation that is a lefty. So right now on the roster today, you got Dick Lovelady, who had to make the roster because he's got a great name. So, I mean,
yeah,
okay, fine. Like
terrible spring stats.
Terrible spring.
Awful spring stats.
Probably not the greatest pitcher anyways, but you know what? We like him for his name, so okay, shout out to that. And then you got Brendan Little. Those are the only two lefties.
And I like
That's
Brendan
it.
Little.
I
don't mind him.
I don't mind him either. It's one of those things where, what does that math work out to be, right? Like 2 out of the, 14 pitchers that you have rostered are lefties, and the remaining 12 of them are righties.
Right.
Like, it's just not a great spot to be in, especially when you're talking about people that are relatively questionable in, Dick Lovelady and Brandon Little. Just would have made a lot more sense to me to hold on to Ryan Yarbrough.
Well, here's Boo Must Die saying very bluntly, you guys are so stupid. Who do you remove from the 40? Oh, I could tell you who I'd remove from the 40. Richard Lovelady. Like,
as much as his name is really good, yeah.
Dude, there's a ton of depth pitchers that we have in our system that are on the 40 that we do not need. So I don't think it's stupid to go at a quality major league left-handed arm that you desperately need, better than every single left-handed arm in your system to your roster. I don't think that's a stupid move. I think that's an intelligent move for $2 million.
Also, like, I'll be honest, man. Like, again, maybe I am stupid here, but I kind of like Ryan Yarbrough better than Jacob Barnes.
Oh, 100%.
100%. Why are we doing that, right? The guy's 35. He didn't play that great last year. He's another righty there. Like, I mean, for me, it's just like get another. Like, if we're talking about 2 questionable lefties, I'd rather have a lefty on this team because we don't have a lot of them.
Here's all I can say about why they may have added Richard Lovelady and Jacob Barnes, and I can see it right here. They have no options. So if they really want to use those contracts, then they got to burn them, right? But still, I would much rather just burn this guy's one of these guys' contracts outright. Yeah. If it meant I can go add Ryan Yarbrough. So that's my guess right now. They're burning those guys' contract because in a little bit you are going to see this. This is kind of pivoting a little bit. You are going to see Eric Swanson. He's going to come back after a few weeks. He's injured to start the year. He didn't make the opening day roster. But here's the thing: Zach Pop, Ryan Burr are kind of in the same category as me. It's like Richard Lovelady and Mr. I already forgot his name, Jacob Barnes.
I would say Zach Pop's even lower than me.
Probably lower. He's in the AAA weird. We suck when in the big leagues, and then we're okay when we're in AAA. Yeah, that's my guess. Is they're burning it, but for me, I'd much rather, again, like I said, burn one of these guys outright, not see them pitch this year if it meant I can keep Ryan Yarbrough.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Again, like you're just talking about somebody that played significantly better last year than some of these other options, and somebody who is throwing out of from an arm that you need right now, being a lefty. And again, we're not alone in being confused by this one right now.
Yeah, everybody's confused. About this
except
one.
Boo Must Die.
I don't know why.
Clearly, he knows what's up here.
Oh yeah.
But either way, folks, those are our thoughts on it. And clearly, the Yankees management felt the exact same way that we did, because quite literally, less than 24 hours later, they were on that. They were getting him. They were bringing him in. He's clearly somebody that needed to be rostered. I'll put it this way: I think that if you would have cut Jacob Barnes, for instance, I don't think that he would have got signed in 24 hours.
No, he's not getting.
I don't think it would have been like that quick.
And that's the other thing too. It's like that to that point. Why didn't the Blue Jays see this? Like, and also it just hurts that it's Yankees. If it was like the Nationals, well, we are facing them in a couple days, so maybe that impacts you. But if it's someone out there in the NL that you're going to face once a year, yeah, sure, it doesn't hurt you. But this adds more insult to injury. You might face Ryan Yarbrough 5 times this year.
Sure,
4 times coming out of the bullpen. Maybe even spot starts a little bit.
Well, I guess if, to that point, though, maybe if the Toronto Blue Jays analytics staff and the people that are making these decisions, maybe if they truly believe that Ryan Yarbrough is going to, the wheels are going to fall off, maybe that's a good thing for us,
Yeah, and my only other guess is maybe there was something in the clubhouse that we're not privy to. Was he just a dick?
Right.
Did they not have a good relationship? But that also doesn't make any sense that they brought him back. And then for a month just left. So for me, it's really questionable. This is where I wish I could just have Ross Atkins on speed dial and be like, bro, tell us what happened.
I want to know what are the numbers that you're looking at that everybody else doesn't see right now.
Yeah.
Because, again, you're talking about somebody that when he was on the Toronto Blue Jays last year was phenomenal. Now, I did see somebody in there saying, well, now we have Yarbrough being like kind of like the longer guy in that pen, and I do agree with you on that.
Yeah.
However, having more bullpen arms that are quality is never a bad thing. Having more lefties is never a bad thing on a team where we definitely desperately need to have more lefties.
Yeah.
And again, Max Scherzer's never going to be healthy for the full year. I would be I'd be honestly pretty shocked too if, like, you know, Kevin Gausman and Chris Bassett, they are both up there in age. You telling me that one of them isn't going to be hurt for a little while at some point? Like, having more guys in there that could have length, I always am going to advocate for. So, I mean, in conclusion, we're confused.
I'm very, very confused because yeah, even if one of them gets hurt, there Yariel moves into a rotation spot, and then there's your length guy out of the bullpen, and also it's a lefty length guy. You have options. So and you're gonna tell me that like Jacob Barnes, Richard Lovelady, and Brendan Little are gonna you want those guys bridging over to the 7th, 8th, 9th? I don't think so, man. Like seriously, our middle relief right now is really up in the air. Also, I did see someone say that David Peterson? Yeah, no, David Robertson is still available.
He's still out there, man. That alone
also
is shocking to me. Just why the MLB hasn't picked it. Again, that's why I always come back to the fact, like, does he even want to play baseball? Because that is somebody that needs to be rostered immediately. Like, honestly, David Robertson would come in and be like our second best bullpen arm.
Yeah,
pretty much
100%.
immediately, right? And that would be the case for many other MLB teams. Shocking why he doesn't have a contract right now. Maybe he is just like fully in retirement mode and looking for a crazy deal.
Yeah, who knows? But right now, guys, Blue Jays bullpen, the state of it, the way we're looking at it, I mean, it's not as sexy as it was coming into the year. Like, you still have Hoffman, Green, and Garcia. That's kind of like your top three. And then after that, guys, like early out of the gate, we're going to be struggling. We got to get lots of length from guys like Berrios, Gausman, Bassett, Francis, and this is the thing, Scherzer. Like, you're probably going to have to piggyback Rodriguez. So you're going to be pitching a lot of these guys in the middle innings, and games could be lost in the middle innings for the Blue Jays early this season.
Do you think it's the right move to start Scherzer out immediately, even though he is dealing with that thumb issue?
Well, like, I'm not super close with the, how they're kind of dealing with it, what he's been kind of saying as of lately, but he did go out and pitch, and, he looked good, and they've been monitoring it, and, if everything is good, then they are going to throw him right into it. So, like, as long as it's being monitored and he'll be the first one to tell you if he's good or not. Then I think it's okay. You just go with it. You roll him out there.
I guess they kind of knew walking into this season that, Max Scherzer was never going to be fully healthy, and we're just going to have to be. There's always going to be something, and it's really just about like mitigating how much it affects you and managing it rather than getting you fully healthy. Because let's face it, I mean, the guy's been throwing a baseball 95 miles per hour for 20 plus years, so he might not ever be fully healthy again.
No, I know, and also I think of it this way too. I mean, might as well. I know this sounds bad to say, but if he's going to get hurt, you'd rather him get hurt for the second half, because then you get Alek Manoah as a reinforcement, and then maybe you trade for somebody later on. So if you want to burn him now, I guess best to pitch him now.
Use the arm up while
get
you
off to a good
still
start,
have it, right? But either way, folks, let us know your thoughts about all that in the comments down below. Was letting Ryan Yarbrough go the right move, or alternatively, did you want to keep him? And if you did want to keep him, who would you have let go instead? Before we move on, we need to give a quick shout out to one of the sponsors of this video, Amsterdam Brewhouse. Everybody, we're going to be there at Amsterdam Brewhouse, 245 Queens Quay West this Thursday at 12:30 for the Toronto Blue Jays opening day game. We're going to have a little pregame show with our buddy Scott from the Walk Off Podcast. Going to be giving away a bunch of different stuff, merchandise, gift cards, potential tickets to Toronto Blue Jays games. It's going to be phenomenal. On top of all of that, these guys are a short 5-minute walk from the Rogers Center, where the best Jays fans go and tailgate, pregame, postgame, all that stuff. If you don't have tickets, there's tons of TVs to watch the actual game right there, and we are going to be giving a live play-by-play while we're there as well. They got some damn good craft beer, locally brewed in Toronto. If you want to support some local businesses, check out the latest from the brewmasters at Amsterdam with their always rotating adventure beers. Highly recommend, everybody. We actually got a couple that we gotta sip on prior to going on the Thursday.
We went to Amsterdam Brewhouse to go check out the place. It was phenomenal. Honestly, great vibes. Best like kind of bar that we've been associated with. Like, just absolutely phenomenal vibes. And they gave us some beers, and they've just been sitting there on the counter staring at us.
What are we waiting on right now?
They're not even on the set right now. What are we doing?
What are we doing, folks? March 27th. Be there. It's going to be awesome. let's transition everybody and move on and talk a little bit about the Alejandro Kirk extension. Now, you brought this up to me, and I talked about the Alejandro Kirk extension at length yesterday, but I didn't bring up the idea that Alejandro Kirk's extension could be tied to someone else's extension, and that's kind of the conversation right now going on the internet. I'll be honest, I think it might be a little bit of a stretch, but you're the one that brought this up to me, so tell me about this.
Well, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, if you're thinking about the Blue Jays, why are they extending Kirk right now? I mean, are they having multiple talks with multiple people right now? Probably, right? Like, the whole conversation with Ross Atkins and Mark Sparrow extending Guerrero, like, their whole focus isn't just Guerrero. The focus is obviously the team and the longevity of winning. One of the big cornerstones of this team moving forward that no one's been talking about is Alejandro Kirk, and the fact that he is our only catcher. He will be gone after 2026, so who the hell is going to catch games? If Vladdy does sign back, who's going to run this pitching staff? Well, it's Alejandro Kirk, and he's been proving that he's been very good. But also, if I think about this team too, with Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who are the guys that he enjoys to play around? Who are the guys that he's known for a long time? Well, it's Bo Bichette and it's Alejandro Kirk.
Right.
Like, it's really only those guys left that would be there beyond his tenure, right, to the end of his contract. So people were talking about it. It made me think. Obviously, I agree with you where it's like, that's not like, oh, you signed Kirk? All right, I'm back.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think it moves the needle at all.
No, but it also goes to show, like, if you present a somewhat more desirable roster, it's does it move the needle for Guerrero? Maybe not, but it also moves the needle for your team winning in the AL East and in the American League. You know what I mean?
Let's be very clear. This doesn't hurt your chances to sign Guerrero at all. I think it's a great extension. You're talking about somebody, and this is the thing too, right? Everybody gets on Alejandro Kirk, for his hitting capabilities. We were looking at his career numbers today, and Alejandro Kirk across his career is still a guy who's got the mid 700 OPS range. That's his career as a catcher, and now he's developed into one of the better defensive catchers in all of baseball. That's somebody that I want to have on my team for a long period of time.
Yep.
On top of that, he is only 26 years old. Have we seen the best of Alejandro Kirk? I don't think so. Clearly, the Jays management doesn't think so. And you're getting him at what I think to be a pretty discounted rate, everybody. $58 million works out to be about $11.5 million every single year. To put that in perspective, folks, that makes him the 6th highest paid catcher in all of baseball, just on an average annual value standpoint. For a 26-year-old who's one of the best defensively speaking, who's at least serviceable with the bat, and you're hoping to get something more, like, that to me is just a steal of a deal.
Dude, and I think about Alejandro Kirk too. We've been thinking about, like, Jays that we're going to watch for a long time. Well, if you've been watching the Jays since Alejandro Kirk came up in 2020, you will watch this guy be a Blue Jay unless he gets traded until 2030.
Yeah.
That's a decade of time that this guy's going to be a Toronto Blue Jay.
The catcher, and this is the contract that says you're the guy.
You're the guy.
It's no more like, 55% here, 45%. No, it's like Alejandro Kirk is the guy 80% of the time.
Yeah, and I love it too, because also 11.6, that's not going to hurt you at all. Like, that's not going to hurt your payroll when it comes to signing big free agents at all.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that what we paid Kevin Kiermaier?
Dude, that's what we paid Kevin Kiermaier last year.
Yeah.
I'd pay Kirk, double. Actually, maybe not double, but 1.5 times more than Kevin Kiermaier.
Yeah.
If you really wanted to, I would do it for one of the better catchers in the game. So Kirk, doesn't mean that is it going to be a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. extension? Probably not. But again, like, building a foundation moving forward is something that the Blue Jays just don't have. And if you can kind of just build that up and then add Vladdy, then maybe it looks a lot better.
And also too, like, just aside from the whole Guerrero stuff, I mean, again, like, I do think that this should only help your conversations with Vlad, just being like, hey, we got this guy here for time. We know who is going to be our catcher moving forward. Another reason why they had to do this, and I think a lot of people weren't really following along with this as much, probably because Guerrero's extension has taken a lot of the media coverage, but Kirky had this year and then next year on his deal. If you look at the top prospects for the Toronto Blue Jays, because you still got 2 years left, whatever. I looked at the top prospects for the Toronto Blue Jays, top 30, not a single one is a catcher.
We got rid of them all.
Single one
we got rid of them
in the top 30, right? So I think that the Blue Jays were looking at that and going, oh, shit, this is going to become a problem very soon,
right?
If we don't get this guy locked up for time. They saw the issue early on, they addressed it. I mean, I couldn't be happier with it.
Yeah, like, if you if you don't lock up Kirk, then what the hell are the trading away of Moreno and Riley Adams and not signing back Danny Jansen for? Right, like you made your decision with all these moves.
You did.
So you better lock them up.
And also too, right? Like just imagine, for instance, let's just say Alejandro Kirk comes out this year, gets back to his All-Star form, and he isn't on this extension.
Right.
Well, now he's 1 year away from hitting free agency. Going to be a 28-year-old catcher who just went to the All-Star game. Yeah. He's thinking to himself, "Hey, man,
maybe
if Vladdy can do it, I can do it. Let me go hit free agency." So
that's the thing.
I like this a lot. Again, I hope that this ties somewhat together with a Guerrero extension. I'm not going to hold my breath on that, though, because, again, Guerrero's not going to move his price down because Kirk is here.
His price is staying the same.
His price is staying the same, but he might be a little bit more open to talking.
Maybe if the squad's still together, we can run it back a little bit. It all depends on this year, too. But I was trying to pull up, like, what our contracts look like in 2027 for you guys. But, I mean, you even look at, like, beyond that 2026 window, which is very scary, like, all these guys are leaving. Well, now you're going to have Jimenez, right? We got him. You still have Barrios. You're going to have Yariel Rodriguez, not Ryan Yarbrough. And now you added Alejandro Kirk. Okay, cool. And then obviously you have all the young rookie guys too. So like there's still a core you got to build a little bit from this previous team.
Yeah, you're trying to build something, trying to set the foundation up. And again, like, is that a strong foundation? No.
It will be stronger with Guerrero.
Yes,
that's a strong foundation.
It's still very questionable, but they are trying to build those complementary pieces out right now and just stabilize the team moving forward. Because, it is scary looking at the future contracts going, oh, shit, like after 2026, what are we now? Also, fun tidbit here, Alejandro Kirk, first Toronto Blue Jay to be signed through to the next decade.
There you go.
So he is the first guy that has a contract that goes all the way to 2030, man. Who would have thought?
2030.
If you would have told me that, like, a year or two ago, I'd been like, you're smoking crack.
Bro.
No, he's going to be on this team until 2030 and then some.
Dude, 2030. We'll be 32 years old, still watching Alejandro Kirk.
Yeah, my whole young adult life will be watching Kirk as the Toronto Blue Jays catcher.
That's crazy. That's awesome. I love it, man. So, guys, also, give a big shout out here to Alejandro Kirk. I'm loving it. I love him so much. You got his jersey. That's going to be a good staple then.
I see a lot of people in the chat as well, and you know what? This is a good opportunity to bring this up before we get into the opening day and everything like that, folks. Also, we're going to spin the wheel shortly, and I know that we have some OGs in here that are going to appreciate that.
Yeah.
But there's some people in the chat saying, we need to re-sign Bo over Vladdy big time. That's coming from Adam Elmer Fudd right here. And this isn't the first time that I've heard that. In the last, 2 months, there's been kind of this wave of people, saying, hey, maybe Bo's the guy. Maybe we should be looking there. We've forgotten all about Bo Bichette. Thoughts on the Bo extension? Because we've just kind of been ruling it out now for a while. Is it still off the table?
I mean, honestly, no. I think that Ross Atkins has said, he actually did come out and say, actually, he mentioned Kirk and Bichette in the same conversation. He's like, we're looking to extend these guys. Well, they got one of them done, so if his word's true, then Bo Bichette isn't off the table. I think, obviously, they got to wait and see what happens with Guerrero, what happens with Bo Bichette this year, too. I think Bo Bichette, out of anybody, is going to test the market. Absolutely. Like, dude, I think this guy is going to be a Padre. He could be out there in the West Coast. Like, that makes so much sense. Maybe he goes down to Texas. Who knows? Bichette is like a guy that's destined to go to free agency, and we're going to have to go and compete for him. So if depending on the price, then maybe we go and give him a best offer. I think the Blue Jays will, with this offseason, whether it be Vlad or Bo, give them a very competitive offer to bring them back. Like, they'll be up there. They're not going to cheap out. I think they're going to be right up there, and then it's up to them.
Yeah.
See what they do.
I mean, for me, it's like there's just so many factors with Bo. Like, if he just had a marginally better year than he had last year, I'd say totally. But because you're talking about somebody that quite literally was one of the worst qualified hitters in all of baseball last year, it's just really hard for both sides to come to an agreement.
Yeah.
Which, and then on top of all of that, then you have some of the rumors and reports from, Bo's friends and whatever being like, hey, he don't like it here anymore.
Dude,
like, he's not happy
Bob
here.
Nightingale is so tight with Bo Bichette's friends.
Oh, yeah.
He must be.
Dude, Bob Nightingale he's hitting up the bars on a Friday night with Bo Bichette's homies and getting the latest scoop.
Yeah, he's got the audio like listening headset, like the little satellite dish.
He's out there, man, listening to those conversations because apparently, according to him, all of Bo Bichette's friends have come out and said that he's done with Toronto. So again, if that's the case, if Bo Bichette's actually done with Toronto, there's nothing that you can do other than offer him like $100 more million than he's worth, which they're not going to do. So I certainly agree with the sentiment that I think that we need to stop looking at Bo Bichette as just a dead end right there. And I think that that's what people were doing for a little while to begin this offseason after last year. It felt like everybody was just totally off the Bo train. I think that we had a good night's sleep. I think that we rested on it. We reconsidered and we realized, well, wait a second. Bo Bichette, a year prior, was still one of the best hitters in the American League. He has been a Toronto Blue Jay up until this point for life. If he comes out and if he does have a strong year and if we can, kind of bridge that relationship gap, if there is one, then, I mean, I'm totally here for it.
Yeah, like, I think it comes down to whatever the hell these two guys do, Vladdy and Bo. Like, if Vladdy sucks and Bo's awesome, you're like, Vladdy, you want $500 million? Sorry, buddy.
Sorry, guy.
I'm offering Bo Bichette $200 and getting better production.
This thing done, yeah.
But if they're both phenomenal, then I think they kind of stick with the whole approach they've been doing, like Vlad first, then Bo, and then obviously if Vlad's phenomenal and Bo's not, then goodbye.
And honestly, like that, I feel like that too. Bo Bichette will never come out and say this, but he is a competitive guy, right? A lot of people are going to the major league. You got to be. You got to be hyper competitive guy. I would imagine that it's got to be very tough on him to hear all the time that Vladdy's one. He's two. Even when he was playing, like leading American League in hits and up there, and Vladdy's always one. Bo Bichette too, and and that was before when he was doing great. So for him, I can imagine how there might be a little bit of an element of I feel a little slighted here.
For sure.
You guys are like, that's your guy. Fine. Like, I'll go fucking talk with all these other teams.
Yeah. So, I mean,
lots of things at play here.
There's so many elements, and the only answers we're going to get is when they happen in the regular season and free agency. Also, just want to give a little shout out to this, too. Fox Sports MLB saying, congratulating the champions of the Cactus League and the Grapefruit League, Blue Jays, and our co-underdogs over there in the NL, the guys that never signed anybody, the San Francisco Giants, also won.
Hell yeah.
Let's go, Giants. You know what I want? I want an alliance between us and the Giants fans.
Yeah.
We're always getting slighted every single offseason. Plus, I got Matt Chapman and Willie Adames. Love those guys. And Robbie Ray, former Jay, as well. So, you know what? Let's go. We have an alliance together.
Dude,
I'm rooting for those guys.
That's the thing, man. It does feel like they are like us over there in the National League. Similarly speaking, they are also in a very tough division at this point, minus the Colorado Rockies. Yeah. But, again, really, really tough competition over there. And always getting, just marginally outbid by their division rivals. So I feel for you Giants fans. I get it. This was our month. This was our month.
Let's go.
Blue Jays earned this. You guys earned this. Can we carry it in to regular season, though, everybody? Let's flash over here and take a look at the fact that we are just, what is that? 1, 2, 3 sleeps away.
Oh, my.
3 sleeps away from waking up and knowing that there is going to be regular season baseball on a Thursday afternoon. I'm getting fucking hyped, dude.
I mean, like, behind the scenes, Nick and I are, like, leaving and going to Amsterdam at, like, fucking 10:30.
Oh, it's going to be great.
It's just all-day event. It's going to be so great. Also, shout out to Amsterdam. Hope to see you guys there. But we have, finally, our first series prediction of the season, everybody. The first one of many. You know how it is. If you're OGs here, we predict this series every Monday and every Friday on Blue Jays Today Show. But we got to predict it right now because there's not going to be a Blue Jays Today show another one before the Thursday. So, Orioles on the 27th. We've got La Maquina rolling out against Zach Eflin of the Baltimore Orioles. Also, we mentioned this on Bad for Baseball, but Mr. Gunnar Henderson going to start the year on the IL. So that's, again, injuries suck. He will be back. It'll be a couple of weeks. But actually really good timing for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, I mean, you're not up against arguably their best player. So, that's definitely important right there. Another thing to note, we finally get a home game for an opener. It's been a long period of time since we've done that. Where are you at right now for this series?
Well, why don't we give a shout-out here, everybody, to the sponsors video and go through the lines and give our predictions. Hey, guys, time for a quick shout-out to the sponsor of this video. Hit your picks and knock it out of the park with Betway. Scan the QR code down below or click the link in the description to join the action. Available in Ontario only, must be 19 years older to participate, and guys, please bet responsibly. Now back to the content.
Shout out to Betway, everybody, for being absolutely phenomenal, everybody. This is the line right now that they have for that opening day game. Now, they're saying that the Toronto Blue Jays are slight underdogs. You would literally, it's a 1-for-1 exchange. You bet $10, you get $10 back should the Toronto Blue Jays win. I like that a lot because you're talking about the home team. You're talking about the team who... Well, I mean, arguably a better starting pitcher on opening day.
Yeah,
it's close.
It's close, but I would say
slight edge to the Toronto Blue Jays right there. And with no Gunnar Henderson on the Baltimore Orioles lineup, I mean, that kind of levels the playing field quite a bit, I would say.
Yes.
And you might even favor the Toronto Blue Jays lineup. Maybe I'm being a bit biased. Actually, I am being a bit biased. But still, I like our odds.
I do like our odds. I mean, I think we've won... I might be jinxing here. I'm going to knock on wood in a moment. I think we've won every single home opener since we've started this channel. Maybe not 2020, but I remember 2021 we won.
Okay.
2022 we had that amazing comeback with Teoscar Hernandez. 2023 I can't remember. I think we won that. I'm pretty sure we won. Someone correct me if I'm wrong down in the chat.
I can't remember.
But if we did win every single game, then I'm taking the Blue Jays right now.
Yeah, I definitely be taking the Jays right here in this first one, everybody. So that's where we're at for game one. If you guys want to hop on that line, then you know how to do it with Betway. What do we have going on for game 2, 3, and 4?
Game 2, 3, and 4. Well, let's go through the Blue Jays rotation right now. Game 2, you're going to have Kevin Gausman doing that for a little bit of a while right now, and it has been released. If everything's okay, Max Scherzer going on this Saturday. Would you look at that? That'll be a fun Saturday if you're in town. Go watch Max Scherzer in his debut against the Baltimore Orioles.
Speaking of everybody, we're going to be, I assume we're going to be live for effectively all of these
games.
Live
for all these games.
For this opening day weekend, folks. So, if you can't watch it, yourself or whatever, come join the boys. It's going to be a time.
Absolutely. So Scherzer going on Saturday and Bassett going on the Sunday there. Now, I don't know. I couldn't find the Baltimore Orioles, opening day starters after Eflin. But if you're just going based on the hierarchy here, it would be Morton up against Gausman, Dean Kramer up against Scherzer, and then Tomoyuki Suganu up against Mr. Chris Bassett. Personally, I maybe again I am biased, and I really don't know what Sugano's got in his tank. But I am leaning a little bit Blue Jays here, guys, on all these matchups right now. And again, we're at home, no Gunnar Henderson, right? Looking at their lineup, like it's good, but you're gonna need some big guys get off to a really hot start. I'm feeling very confident. Where are you right now? I don't know. I might be leaning a 3 out of 4 win.
3 out of 4,
I might be leaning. Like, you're at home for the first time in years.
They're coming off of a grapefruit
we were the Grapefruit League champs.
Championship.
I might say we get 3 out of 4 here and comfortably expecting a split.
Yeah, you know what? And I feel like I'm kind of at the same place that you are. I think that we've had a long enough offseason that the pain of last year has left completely. I've forgotten to not trust this team, and therefore I am starting the season out trusting this team.
David Popkins?
Hello? Hopkins, yeah, right.
We're going to pound these pitchers.
Right.
These guys
Kirky
are
extension,
easy.
He's feeling good, wanting to come out swinging. Alan Roden made the team. Like, come on, guys.
Come on, man.
You know what? Fuck it. We're going to win this series. It's going to be 3 wins for the Toronto Blue Jays, 1 loss. Maybe we drop. Honestly, I think maybe we drop the Scherzer game just because, the guy is dealing with a little something. Maybe he only goes like 3-4 innings. You get the bullpen in there. What happens?
Bullpen gets pretty bad.
Bullpen gets beat bad.
Yeah.
I could see us losing the Scherzer game. I also could see us losing any of them, but I could also see us losing the Bassett game too. But however, I'm going to say that, we're winning 3 out of 4 here.
Yeah, well, people are really not liking our prediction right now. Guys, I mean, listen. I know it's a lot of hopium, but we're just looking at lineup pound for pound. I mean, which one's going to be better this year? Rotation pound for pound, I think we're a little bit better. They have a little bit better bullpen, but we are at home. That's why I'm comfortably thinking at least a split. The hopium is telling me 3 out of 4.
Yeah,
Let's go.
You know what? I think that there's a better chance that we win 3 than we lose 3.
Absolutely.
So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at right now.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Granted, after we get annihilated this weekend, it will be a completely different Blue Jays Today show on Monday.
Yeah.
So,
and listen, am I really going to come out here on the first prediction of the season and go, nah, we're getting swept
after a Grapefruit League championship When?
Yeah, literally.
Come on.
Literally, guys, come on. Like, what kind of fans would be? Nah, yeah, these teams sucks. Yeah, nah, come on, let's live a little. Blue Jays win 3 out of 4. Let's go,
Get
guys.
off to a hot start on the season.
Hell
I mean,
yeah.
that month of April is really, really tough. If you could finish the month of April 500 or like a game or two above 500,
Oh, yeah.
we are even a game or two below 500. And I'll be
We survived.
Okay. Yeah, we survived because it is a very tough April. So a series win here. That would be major, folks. With all of that being said, we are now at that special time of the video where I believe it's time to spin the wheel.
The spinning fortune, baseball, colorful, future determining, stat analyzing, and it's a wheel that we spin every week.
It is a wheel that we spin every single week.
Let's
Now,
go.
for those new viewers here, if you started watching us this offseason, you're not aware, every single year, Adam and I spin this wheel 3 times a week on our
Great.
Blue Jays Today show, and then we bet on or make picks for what it lands on. Now, how it works is, it's either your week or the opponent's week, and you get a slight advantage. How do we do this again?
Well, I think as the winner of last season, again, we're split. We're 2-2. The winner of last season, I'll let you decide whether you want to take the first 2, because it's 3 categories. You pick first twice in your week, so you decide. You decide.
Well, thank you for that charitable donation.
you
Right there.
Warner's push.
Right. I am going to. You know what? I'm gonna make it my week this week.
Okay, let's
and I will
go.
get this slight advantage. So we're gonna spin this thing and see what it lands on for the first category of 2025. You guys let us know in the comments down below who we should pick for this. Everybody. Where are we going?
Let's see the first category. It's going to be, stolen bases, a new category this year. Wow, right out of the gate.
Out of the gate. We were talking about this just prior, and we realized that this is actually one of those categories that is pretty difficult to predict, pretty difficult to select on.
Yeah.
And honestly, it being, because we're only picking for the 4 games, right?
Yeah, it's literally, one.
It quite literally could end with a 0-0
It could be
tie.
0-0. Yeah.
That being said, though, I do think that there is one guy, and I am going to go first on this one.
Yeah.
There is one guy that is clearly more of a stolen base threat than anybody else. That's going to be Andres Jimenez. So I'm going to lock that guy in first. We were trying to figure out who the number 2 guy would be. Best of luck to you.
It's tough because, like, literally, I look up and down. Bo hasn't stolen in years. I mean, Vladdy, Santander, let's get it real. Jimenez is the guy. Then, honestly, I don't like it, but sure, like Springer's too, because if you look at the numbers, he actually was second last year.
Was he really?
Well, he was second. He had a high teens last year. It's crazy. I know. Or maybe they have 20. I don't know. Someone correct me. But like other than that, like Ernie had 13. Miles Straw, I actually have no idea. Like, is he even gonna get playing time? Is he gonna steal? I have no clue. Alan Roden, his thing. Is he gonna get playing time to steal? Is Will Wagner? Will Wagner doesn't even steal. People are saying Alan Roden. Honestly, I'm gonna go. I just gotta go with based off last year. Like, George Springer had the second most stolen bases. Like, that's all I'm going off of, and all I need is one.
I feel good about this category.
I would feel, because who would you pick? Who would you pick there?
Like, honestly, man, I mean, Springer's not a bad selection. I might shoot my shot on like literally Alan Roden or one of those young guys.
But I don't even know the playing time, you know?
I know, but like, again, like we said, all you need is one, and he gets himself on base and gets the green light because it's lower in the order. And I don't know. Again, I'm not sure. Look, this is a complete crapshoot, dude.
I don't know.
Let's go for category number 2, everybody.
Okay.
You guys let us know in the chat who you would have selected there. We are getting a decent amount of Rodens.
I just can't. I need to see playing time first.
Yeah,
that's
and
big thing.
that is very, very fair.
Home runs.
Home runs.
Okay,
Now, this is one of those ones where I do think that there are multiple options, and it being the shortened sample size as well, I'm comfortable to allow you to pick first on this one. Now that we've brought Santander into the mix, I know. Mean, there's options.
Dude,
here.
Last year was only fucking Vlad.
It was pretty much
It was
just
literally
Vlad,
Vladdy. So, and you know what? People are saying Vlad. Santander's not a bad option either, so I understand why you'd have me going second. But Vladdy, back home, has a year to prove something right now. Got to go with my guy. And there he is, right? I got Vladdy. There you go.
Yeah, that is super fair, dude. That is really, really fair. Now, I know that Santander is probably the right selection here.
You also got Bo Bichette.
But look, I got a good feeling about Bo.
How many? You got 4 homers in spring?
He had 4 in spring. He had 4 in spring, and I really think that he's going to be in for a year.
Okay.
So I'm going to go Bo Bichette.
Let's do it. Okay. Not what I was expecting,
Bichette.
but I respect the pick. I respect the pick.
Sometimes you got to trust your gut. And I think I almost think it's unfair of me to be like, oh, our new acquisition, you're going to hit a home run in your first series.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it, right?
Well, against his own old team. So
yeah, you know what I mean? Maybe, who knows? But I think Bo Bichette's in for a year. He's going to be batting leadoff. He's going to have a lot of at-bats, lots of opportunities.
Okay.
I will take Bo.
Respect.
Last category, I'm going to be picking first on. Now, last year, here's the problem. Last year, I never spun any bonus players. It was terrible for me. Can we get one this time? Doesn't look like
Oh, yeah, spin again. A little home run again.
Gotta spin one more time.
Vladdy Moneybags to do it. Yeah, Vladdy, he's going to come out of the gate with 3 and just prove why he's a $700 million player.
Yeah, now we're going to be giving you, dumb amounts of money.
Yeah.
We're back on stolen bases.
Oh, jeez, okay.
One. It has this capability to do this. I don't know if it's weighted at all in any other way.
It might be overall this time because there's some categories we rarely ever got last year.
Rarely ever gets.
And OPS.
Okay.
There you go.
Wow. This is the tough one now because I hate it when you get OPS and home runs because especially in a 4-game sample size, effectively my pick for home runs then is
yeah.
If you get a home run, you probably end up leading an OPS. So
Bichette?
I guess so, yeah. I guess that is what it is.
He was popping the hell off, and just the exact same reason why you're doing you.
And that's fair.
I'm going to pick Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
That is definitely fair. All right, there is the first week, everybody. Blue Jays today spinning the wheel. You guys let us know what you think about that. I mean, especially it being a 4-game series, quite literally anything could happen. 1 stolen base, 1 home run, bang, you win.
It's over like that, guys. So let us know down in the chat, what do you think about our picks? And also, what do you think about the Blue Jays getting rid of Ryan Yarbrough? That was wild. Let us know your thoughts down there. And guys, we're going to be back soon. There's going to be a podcast coming out tomorrow. Maybe something coming out Wednesday. We'll see. We'll kind of touch base. And then, of course, we're going to have the opening day event live here on Blue Jays Today, but also live in person. We'll see y'all there. Get your tickets in the description down below. Can't wait, guys, for a great 2025 season.
I am so amped, folks. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. And as always, go Jays, go!